was one of the biggest blockbusters of all time. It put a multi-million-dollar cast in the most dangerous drama they'd ever faced.
It was exciting and nerve-wracking.
It also ignited a competition between two screen superstars.
Are you here to take me on or the fire?
High-rise horror, hair-raising stunts, and a legendary producer's burning ambition. On Backstory, The Towering Inferno.
Mike, she's throwing a lot of smoke.
81st floor, right?
Right.
Chief, this is Roberts, the architect.
What do we got here, Cappy?
Fire started, 81st floor, storage room. This is a bad one. Smoke is so thick we can't tell how far it spread.
What about your exhaust system?
Well, it should have reversed automatically. It must have been a motor burnout or something.
Sprinklers?
They're not working on 81.
Why not?
I don't know.
Released in 1974, The Towering Inferno marked a high point in the decade's hottest film genre, the disaster movie, thanks to extraordinary effects, an all-star cast, and the frightening story of an out-of-control blaze in the world's tallest building.
All right, go, Mac, go.
One of the most difficult productions in Hollywood history, The Towering Inferno was ultimately the vision of a single man, producer and co-director Irwin Allen.
He spots the fire down there. He goes back into the bathroom, puts the wet towels on, and then Robert Wagner comes running out of here.
He really created the Towering Inferno. He had that vision.
By 1972, Irwin Allen was riding high as producer of the fourth top-grossing film ever made, the all-star disaster tale, The Poseidon Adventure.
The most exciting escape adventure of our time.
For his movie follow-up, Allen turned to an even more ambitious project that traded terror of water for the fear of fire. In 1973, he and 20th Century Fox began bidding for a soon-to-be-published novel called The Tower. It was the chilling story of a blaze that starts during the dedication of the world's highest skyscraper. But after the success of The Poseidon Adventure, every studio was scrambling to make its own disaster epic. And Allen was furious when he was outbid for rights to the tower by Warner Brothers. Refusing to surrender, he raced into action weeks later when he read the outline for a near-identical novel called The Glass Inferno. He optioned the book, rushed it into pre-production, and came up with a plan that made Hollywood history. Allen demanded a meeting between the heads of both Fox and Warner Brothers. Armed with elaborate storyboards, he announced that Fox was already in the lead and said it would be suicide to make two big-budget movies with the same story. Instead, Allen suggested a single film, which he would personally produce. Impressed by Allen's pitch and his reputation as Hollywood's master of disaster, Warner's and Fox agreed to the first studio co-production, The Towering Inferno.
This is it. This is the big one. This is The Towering Inferno. This is the picture, ladies and gentlemen, that we here at 20th Century Fox believe will be the biggest grosser of next year. Bigger, we think and hope, even than The Poseidon Adventure.
The film's budget was set for a pricey $11 million, with costs and profits to be split evenly between the studios. Allen hired Oscar winner Sterling Siliphant, co-writer of The Poseidon Adventure, to combine the Tower and The Glass Inferno into a single script. He then outlined the production with over 2,500 storyboards.
All projects start with doing a visualization of an idea. How is it going to look on the screen? These remarkable artists translate to pictures that which the writer has put into words. Starting a picture starts with a picture. Say, that was rather clever.
We would do diagrams of like a bird's eye on a sound stage with all the hoses, all the fans, all the fire stuff. And it was horrifying to the production people doing budgets when they realized what it was going to take.
Hal, how's the money situation? $1,110,000 for miniatures only?
Right.
It's only money.
In true Irwin Allen fashion, the producer hired the biggest stars that money could buy. Its ranks included William Holden as the builder of the world's tallest skyscraper, Fred Astaire as a charismatic con man, Jennifer Jones as a wealthy widow, Richard Chamberlain as Holden's unscrupulous son-in-law, Susan Blakely as Chamberlain's loyal wife, O.J. Simpson as head of security, and Robert Wagner as an adulterous PR man.
Irwin Allen had the marvelous way of being able to cast all those people in it. I mean, what a cast he got.
Allen scored his biggest casting coup when he hired not one, but two of the industry's most in-demand superstars, Paul Newman and Steve McQueen. Their price was $1 million each, plus a percentage of the gross. McQueen was hired first and offered the lead role of San Francisco architect Doug Roberts. But the actor shocked Allen by choosing instead to play the supporting part of Fire Chief Michael O'Halloran. McQueen was convinced that O'Halloran would be a showier role. And since 1956, when he had a bit part in the Paul Newman film Somebody Up There Likes Me, McQueen was determined to surpass his rival. So the role of the architect went to Paul Newman. McQueen also demanded just as many lines of dialogue as his co-star. So writer Sterling Siliphant was pulled back from a vacation in the Bahamas to add precisely 12 sentences to the actor's part. Providing a different kind of incendiary excitement was Faye Dunaway, cast as Newman's lover. What the part lacked in depth, Dunaway made up for in sex appeal and glamour.
You don't talk at all?
No, it's my lunch hour.
Well, I'm not a cheeseburger, you know.
You're better. All protein, no bread. All I need to go with you is about 8 glasses of water.
I did a dress for Faye Dunaway, the plunging neckline that went all the way down to the navel. Time magazine said that dress created more suspense in the picture because they wondered when she was going to fall out of the damn thing.
British filmmaker John Gillerman would handle most of the directing chores, staging all dialogue scenes between the actors.
Right action. I want to see all your floor plans, 81 through 85. Gotcha. Okay, let's try again.
But it was Irwin Allen himself who would direct the movie's action unit.
Let's go to the next camera, Joe. All right, now where's the mayor?
With a cast of over 3,000 and real fire on the set, Irwin Allen knew that the slightest mistake could lead to injury or death.
If anything happens to me, Allie gets my pickup truck.
But before long, the production would spark another kind of firestorm, as Irwin Allen faced both on-camera bonfires and battles among the film's demanding superstars.
Tree slate.
When Backstory returns, an all-star cast fights fire and flood.
All right, Susan. Action! He turned away. He's at the door. He looks back. He smiles. He runs. Men on fire! Flowers! Print it!
Absolutely fabulous.
From the earliest days of its filming in May of 1974, The Towering Inferno was already a film for Hollywood's record books. Shot by 4 separate units, it required 57 sets, the most ever used until then for a 20th Century Fox production.
We shot San Francisco, the stages at Fox, the miniatures so-called, was 6-7 stories above the ground. So it was pretty awesome.
We worked very closely with the LA and the San Francisco Fire Department. First thing that comes to you, well, how are we going to keep from setting off the sprinklers in the sound stage? And so at the meeting I said, well, that's easy, we'll just turn the valve off. Fire department says, shutting off the sprinkler system with the express intent of setting a fire is called arson. So we had a fireman with a thermometer. And when it would get to be 145, that he would shut the company down.
I've never worked with anyone that has been more prepared than Irwin was.
And action!
I had that big sequence to do when I had to dip down and get ignited by the fire. You knew exactly what was going to happen. Maybe that's why I ran through the fire.
But Irwin Allen's meticulous preparation couldn't put out fires among a few unhappy stars. William Holden was reportedly bitter over his third billing behind McQueen and Newman, and over what he considered a one-dimensional role. Holden and others were also frustrated by the occasional tardiness of Faye Dunaway.
Oh, I love Faye. One of the fun ladies to work with. But Faye had a few moments where I guess she didn't quite make it to the set, so we had all the people there, and Jennifer Jones was right there. And where's Faye? No Faye. And after a while, Jennifer said, well, I guess it's time for me to go home too then. And she waited long enough time, and so she left.
William Holden's frustration finally exploded 2 months into filming, when he reportedly shoved the actress against the wall and physically threatened her if she was ever late again. For the next month, Dunaway had a perfect attendance record.
What can we do about it?
What do you suggest?
Well, work together.
Tabloid reporters were also predicting an explosion any day between Steve McQueen and Paul Newman. But the expected eruption never happened, as these behind-the-scenes bloopers suggest.
You've got 15 minutes left. That's all. Self-destruct.
The most fun was Paul Newman. He definitely liked to have a good time. You're looking very pleased with yourself, I must say.
You bet your sweet ass.
Cut, very nice.
He has a very naughty sense of humor. He loves practical jokes. And I think he knew that this movie was what it was. It wasn't going to be his Oscar-winning best performance ever, you know, so he was having a good time there. And yet, of course, he was always completely professional.
In their few scenes together, Newman and McQueen worked in an atmosphere of respect and friendly competition.
That's it. Let's get the out of here. Leave the guy with the camera here.
Okay, cut.
See it, please.
Newman and McQueen were ready for that stuff. You know, they're macho guys. They loved it. Can we do this? How about more water?
To the studio's horror, McQueen and Newman both insisted on doing as many of their own stunts as possible, and both suffered minor injuries. On May 31st, Newman developed a facial allergy triggered by smoke. A week later, the actor burned his hand.
Marker.
Not to be outdone, Steve McQueen defied the studio and its insurance company by doing a hazardous jump into an elevator shaft. McQueen twisted his ankle badly, and the actor was incapacitated for several days. With costs already climbing from $11 to $14 million, the script was quickly rewritten to let McQueen do several scenes in a sitting position. To film the harrowing elevator rescue, a multi-story section of the building's exterior was created at the 20th Century Fox Ranch in Malibu. Matte paintings were later added to give the illusion that characters were stranded 58 floors above ground. But for the actors, including Irwin Allen's real-life fiancée Sheila, the danger seemed real enough.
We were stuck on the side of a building, and Irwin kept blowing up bombs or something right next to us. And here we all were in chiffon, and these sparks would come flying in through the window.
It was a bigger explosion than anybody thought. There was panic, and everybody else was running. There were trees on fire that weren't supposed to be burning.
So while you're busy acting, terrified and everything, you're hitting your dress to keep from going on fire.
McQueen dropped me once, and I missed the airbag and everything on the stage. He came off that elevator and said, "You better pay this guy a lot of money." He was a good guy. He always wanted the best for the project. He, on the elevator scene, I was doing that with his double. And he came the next day and asked me how it went, and I said, I think it could have been better. And he called all the execs together, and they all came in with their limos, and all about 20 some odd of them, in a big circle. And then he said, I want to fix that scene. And they said, why? It was great. We loved it. Why do you want to redo it? He said, because Ernie said. These execs looking around, who are you? Who? That stunt guy actor? Because Ernie said, and they made it what it is.
The movie's many stuntmen and women were in almost constant jeopardy, especially the 25 who met a fiery end on camera. Each person wore a non-flammable bodysuit, coated with a mix of benzene and alcohol, which was ignited for a chillingly realistic effect.
Action!
You got 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Put him out. Go in and get him. Go get him.
We did have some near accidents on that. Like the guy that came out of the elevator on fire. They cover him with glue and they have all kinds of fire protective Nomex. Well, he had somehow brushed his face with this flaming glue, and the glue he couldn't get off his face, and that burned his lip.
When Backstory returns, a final flood of creativity completes the decade's hottest blockbuster.
We want to try to put out the fire by blowing up the water tanks above us. It's going to need a lot of water and steel and concrete, but if they don't try it, we're all going to burn. The fire's out of control below us. This way, some of us might survive. We got no options.
Get them all in position, let them start tying themselves down.
No sequence in the towering Inferno would be more complicated or difficult to film than the climax, in which the skyscraper's main water storage tanks are detonated in a desperate attempt to put out the blaze.
Camera number 5, Marker.
We now have speed on all cameras. I will count 1, 2, 3, and after that, the big explosion will occur.
6 giant water tanks were placed above the massive promenade set. It was built 11 feet off the ground to allow a vast water runoff and prevent the actors from drowning when thousands of gallons were unleashed. After 4 exhausting months of production, the towering Inferno finally wrapped shooting on September 11th, 1974.
There were 69 sets when we started, but applauding the picture, there were only 2 when we finished. We burned down everything.
Just 3 months later, on December 16th, the movie opened amid a blaze of publicity set off by its producer. Despite mixed reviews, the towering Inferno lived up to the expectations of audiences around the world. The film that cost 2 studios $14 million grossed a remarkable $200 million in a first run that lasted nearly a year. But the film did receive harsh criticism from builders, who claimed that the movie gave an incorrect and inflammatory picture of safety in modern skyscrapers. Ironically, just 2 months later, a massive fire broke out in the world's tallest building, the World Trade Center.
This picture opened up a lot of eyes. Codes within cities had to be changed so that all buildings had sprinkler systems and so forth, and fire escape systems.
In 1975, the towering Inferno defied its detractors by earning 8 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. It went on to win 3 Oscars for Best Cinematography, Best Editing, and Best Song.
You know, one of these days, you're gonna kill 10,000 in one of these fire traps. And I'm gonna keep eating smoke and bringing out bodies until somebody asks us how to build them. Okay, I'm asking.
Over a quarter century after its making, the towering Inferno continues to dazzle moviegoers with its irresistible blend of cliff-hanging adventure and stunning special effects. Its story of remarkable people overcoming incredible odds was also lived behind the camera on a production skillfully run by a fearless Hollywood showman.
Irwin Allen took a big gamble on that picture, and it proved to be one of the best pictures of that kind, but he did it, and he loved it.
It was one of the most thrilling experiences you could have watching this thing being made. Towering Inferno will live for a long, long time.
Thank you, and good night.